From Mencari Newsroom at redmencari.com.
Good evening, this is Miko Santos. On today's rundown for May 2nd, 2025, I'm diving into the political landscape as Australia heads to crucial election, with leaders making their final pitches and new polling showing surprisingly support for power-sharing arrangements. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese spent his final campaign day on a three-state blitz, beginning in Queensland, moving through Tasmania, and ending in Victoria. In a reflective but disciplined interview from Devonport, Tasmania, the Prime Minister addressed key election issues while emphasizing Labour's positive agenda. When questioned about his emotional speech earlier in the day, Albanese rejected suggestion he was worried about losing, instead focusing on what he sees as a stark choice facing voters.
Not at all. I know a lot's at stake in this election campaign. Building a better future under Labor, strengthening Medicare, supporting our economy, supporting the transition to a clean energy economy, or what the Coalition have to offer, which is higher taxes, higher deficits and savage cuts.
The Prime Minister has also highlighted his government diplomatic achievements, including securing Julian Assange's release and repairing international relationship that he described as a mess when Labour took office. When pressed on Indigenous issue following the Voice referendum defeat, Albanese firmly ruled out legislation a voice to Parliament, but committed to practical reconciliation effort in housing, economic empowerment, health, and education. Meanwhile, opposition leader Peter Dutton used his final day of campaigning to focus on cost of living pressures, calling the current economic situations a sliding doors moment for Australia. Speaking in Western Australia, Dutton emphasized his party immediate relief proposal for struggling families.
Many people plan for years to do that, and I want to make sure that we have a country where people can afford to retire, where people can afford to retire in dignity and with the respect that they deserve after a lifetime of hard time work. I want to make sure that younger people, when they're working hard, understand that there is a future for them, and I want the economy to work for them. I want the economy to work for them as opposed to the other way around.
Dutton claimed that average family is $50,000 worse off under this government and outlined his plan to reduce fuel costs by 25 cents per litre, providing $1,200 tax rebate. When asked if he would remain party leader if unsuccessful today, Dutton avoided the question, saying only, "I've been clear in relation to my objective, and that is to win the election tomorrow." New polling released today by the Australian Institute shows a surprising level of support for power-sharing arrangement in the next term of the Parliament. More than twice as many Australians support a power-sharing arrangement as opposed one, with 41.7% in favor of versus 19.7% against. The Australian Institute polling research showed that voters aren't buying dark talk of coalition of chaos or hung parliament. Most states and territories have experienced power-sharing parliaments in the last 20 years, so Australia have real-world experience that this parliament can be popular and effective. The poll also found that 70% of Australians believe the Senate should review and scrutinize every government policy on its merit, while just 12.2% think the Senate should automatically support every policy the government took to the election. Notably, voters of smaller parties indicate they believe crossbench MPs should support the party they believe can negotiate the best policy outcomes, rather than automatically backing either major party. As Australia heads to the polls tomorrow, clear skies are expected across most capital cities, with temperature ranging from 18 to 25 degrees. For our full election coverage, join us tomorrow night as results coming from across the country. That's our 5 minutes rundown for today's May 2nd, 2025. I'm Miko Santos. Thanks for listening.
Subscribe to Mencari for news with authentic Gen X perspective, cutting through the noise with zero fluff. Available now across all podcast platforms. News without the noise, perspective without the panic.